In the whirlwind of modern life, where ambition often leads to disarray and introspection becomes a luxury, the ancient teachings of Confucianism offer a beacon of wisdom that is surprisingly relevant today. This narrative embarks on a journey to explore how these age-old philosophies can guide personal development and help navigate the complexities of contemporary existence. At the heart of Confucian thought lies the concept of li, traditionally translated as ritual or proper conduct, but perhaps more accurately described as a life-generating activity that nurtures love and respect. In a world increasingly dominated by fleeting interactions and digital conversations, the deliberate practice of li encourages us to foster genuine connections and approach each interaction with mindfulness and care, transforming mundane exchanges into meaningful engagements. The diversity of love, as recognized in Confucian tradition, challenges our modern, often monolithic views on the subject. It teaches us to appreciate the various forms love can take, from the deep bond with family and friends to the respect and kindness shown to strangers. This multifaceted understanding of love encourages us to extend our empathy beyond our immediate circle, fostering a sense of community and interconnectedness that is sorely needed in today's fragmented society. Confucianism places great emphasis on moral intuition and the role it plays in navigating ethical dilemmas. In an age where moral absolutes are increasingly questioned, the idea that our gut feelings can guide us towards virtuous actions offers a refreshing perspective. It suggests that, deep down, we possess an inherent understanding of right and wrong, and that cultivating this intuitive moral compass is key to living a righteous life. The concept of moral humility in Confucian thought serves as a powerful antidote to the arrogance and egocentrism that can sometimes pervade modern culture. It teaches us to approach life with modesty and self-awareness, recognizing our limitations and the value of others' perspectives. This humility encourages us to remain open to learning and growth, a stance that is essential in an ever-changing world. Conscientiousness, another virtue extolled by Confucianism, involves being diligent and careful in our moral life. In the fast-paced, efficiency-obsessed environment of the 21st century, this call to conscientiousness invites us to slow down and consider the ethical implications of our actions, both large and small. It reminds us that the pursuit of good requires effort and attention, qualities that are often sidelined in the rush towards success. The practical application of virtue ethics, as espoused by Confucianism, advocates for living out virtues in a day-to-day manner. This approach demystifies the concept of personal development, presenting it not as a lofty goal to be achieved, but as a series of small, deliberate choices made in the course of everyday life. It encourages us to find opportunities for kindness, honesty, and courage in our routine interactions, weaving a tapestry of virtue that enriches our lives and those of the people around us. In integrating these ancient principles into modern narratives, we not only enrich our understanding of personal development, but also bridge the gap between past and present, demonstrating that wisdom, regardless of its age, holds timeless relevance. As we face the future, let us do so with the guidance of Confucian philosophy, applying its lessons to cultivate a life of virtue, empathy, and mindful engagement with the world. In doing so, we may find that the path to personal fulfillment and societal harmony is illuminated by the enduring light of ancient wisdom. In the bustling corridors of the modern world, where leadership often seems a tangle of complexity and ethical quandaries, the ancient teachings of Confucianism offer a beacon of wisdom that, though rooted in a time far removed from our own, holds profound relevance for today's leaders. Through the art of storytelling, let us journey into how Confucian principles can illuminate the path of governance in our contemporary society. At the heart of Confucian philosophy lies the concept of li, an idea that transcends mere etiquette to embody a life-generating activity that fosters harmony and balance in all human interactions. In the realm of leadership, this principle advocates for a way of governance that is not just efficient, but also harmonious, aiming to create a society where individuals can flourish. Imagine a leader who, rather than wielding power from a high pedestal, walks among the people, listens to their needs, and governs with compassion and empathy. Such a leader does not just command respect but also inspires it through their actions, much like a gardener who nurtures each plant to bloom. Diversity of love is another cornerstone of Confucian thought, recognizing the myriad forms and expressions of love that bind a community together. In today's leadership, this translates into an inclusive approach that values and respects the unique contributions of each individual, irrespective of their background or position. It is about creating a culture where everyone feels valued and heard, a culture that thrives on the collective strength of its diverse members. When leaders embrace this diversity of love, they weave a tapestry of unity and strength that can withstand the tests of time and challenge. Moral intuition and humility, virtues esteemed by Confucianism, are indispensable qualities for any leader navigating the complexities of the modern world. Leaders endowed with moral intuition have the capacity to discern right from wrong in the absence of clear guidelines, relying on their inner moral compass to guide their decisions. Humility, on the other hand, keeps leaders grounded, reminding them that true leadership is not about personal accolades but about serving the greater good. It is the humble leader who, by acknowledging their limitations, opens the door to collective wisdom and shared governance. In integrating these ancient principles into contemporary leadership, one must not overlook the practical application of virtue ethics, emphasizing the day-to-day embodiment of virtues in a manner that is both authentic and impactful. It is one thing to espouse values rhetorically. It is another to live them out in the decisions and actions that shape our world. Leaders who embody these virtues set a living example for others to follow, fostering a culture of integrity and ethical conduct that elevates the entire community. Drawing from real-life examples, consider the transformative impact of leaders who have embraced Confucian principles, whether consciously or intuitively. From community organizers who prioritize harmony and collective well-being to corporate executives who lead with empathy and inclusivity, the principles of Confucianism find expression in myriad ways, each contributing to a more balanced and ethical form of governance. In conclusion, the art of governance, as viewed through the lens of Confucian principles, is not merely about the exercise of power, but about cultivating a society where harmony, respect, and ethical integrity prevail. As we navigate the challenges and opportunities of leadership in today's world, may we draw inspiration from these ancient teachings, reminding us that the true essence of governance lies in serving and uplifting humanity. In the timeless wisdom of Confucianism, leaders find not only guiding principles for ethical governance but also a profound understanding of the human heart, which, after all, is where true leadership begins. In the bustling heart of the city, amidst the cacophony of ringing phones, typing keyboards, and endless meetings, there existed a professional named Alex. Alex, like many others, was a creature of modernity, ensnared in the relentless pursuit of success and recognition. However, Alex's journey was about to intertwine with ancient wisdom, transforming not just their career path, but their approach to life itself. The story begins on a seemingly ordinary Tuesday when Alex, feeling particularly drained by the monotonous grind, stumbled upon a book titled Confucius for the Contemporary Mind. Intrigued by the juxtaposition of ancient philosophy and modern concerns, Alex was drawn into the world of Confucian thought, unaware of how it would reshape their understanding of professional and personal ethics. As Alex delved deeper into the teachings of Confucius, they discovered the concept of li, a principle that emphasized moral etiquette and righteousness as the fabric of social harmony. It was a revelation for Alex, who had always viewed professional success as a ladder to be climbed at any cost. The idea that one's career could be a life-generating activity, filled with love and moral intuition, was both refreshing and daunting. In the weeks that followed, Alex began to apply these ancient principles to their daily life. They started with the diversity of love, recognizing the different forms and expressions of love within their team. Instead of seeing colleagues merely as competitors or resources, Alex began to appreciate them as individuals, each contributing uniquely to the tapestry of their collective success. Moral intuition and humility became Alex's guiding stars, leading them to make decisions that prioritized the well-being of the team over personal gain. This shift did not go unnoticed. Colleagues began to respond to Alex's newfound conscientiousness with trust and respect, fostering a collaborative environment that had been sorely lacking. The principle of li became more than just a philosophical concept. It transformed into a practical application of virtue ethics in the workplace. Alex's approach to leadership and decision-making, grounded in the teachings of Confucius, began to yield remarkable results. Productivity soared, but more importantly, the team's morale and sense of purpose reached new heights. Educational aspects of Confucian thought also played a significant role in Alex's transformation. Understanding that education was not merely the acquisition of knowledge but the cultivation of moral virtues, Alex initiated learning sessions within the team. These sessions, focused on personal and professional growth, became a cornerstone of their team's culture. The journey was not without its challenges. Integrating intellectual and practical virtues, balancing generalism with particularism in morality, and navigating the complexities of ethics and ontology required constant reflection and adaptation. However, Alex's commitment to applying Confucian principles in a modern context provided a steady compass. As the months passed, the impact of Alex's transformation extended beyond the confines of their office. Colleagues carried the lessons learned into their personal lives, fostering social harmony and moral development in their communities. The story of Alex's journey from a relentless professional to a Confucian-inspired leader became a testament to the timeless relevance of ancient wisdom in contemporary society. In the end, Alex's story is a beacon for the modern professional. It serves as a reminder that success, defined not by accolades or achievements, but by the cultivation of virtue and the fostering of harmonious relationships, is both possible and profoundly rewarding. Confucius, it seems, has much to offer the 21st century professional, guiding us towards a path where ethics and success are not adversaries but allies in the quest for a meaningful life. In the fast-paced digital age, where information travels faster than thought and virtual connections often replace genuine human interactions, the ancient philosophy of Confucianism offers timeless wisdom that can guide us toward a more virtuous and fulfilling life. Drawing from the rich tapestry of Confucian thought, this narrative explores how we can apply its principles to navigate the complexities and challenges of modern living, ensuring our journey through the digital landscape is both meaningful and morally grounded. At the heart of Confucianism lies the concept of li, which represents not just a set of rituals and social etiquettes but a deeper, life-generating activity that nurtures love and goodness. In an era dominated by screens and keyboards, li reminds us of the importance of engaging in meaningful activities that promote personal growth and social harmony. Whether it's sharing a meal with family or volunteering in the community, these life-generating activities foster a sense of connection and belonging, counteracting the isolation often felt in a digitalized world. The diversity of love, as recognized by Confucian tradition, challenges us to embrace the various forms and expressions of love in our lives. From the passionate love shared with a partner to the compassionate love we extend to strangers, each form enriches our existence and contributes to our moral development. In the digital age, where interactions can be fleeting and superficial, prioritizing deep, meaningful connections becomes crucial for our emotional and spiritual well-being. Confucianism places great emphasis on moral intuition, encouraging us to trust our inner sense of right and wrong. In a world where we are bombarded with conflicting messages and ethical dilemmas, tapping into our moral intuition helps us navigate these challenges with integrity. Social media, with its highlight reels and curated personas, often pressures us to conform to societal norms and expectations. However, by listening to our moral compass, we can stay true to ourselves and make decisions that reflect our values and principles. Moral humility, another cornerstone of Confucian thought, teaches us the importance of modesty and self-awareness. Recognizing our limitations and being open to learning from others is essential in a world where knowledge is vast and ever-changing. The digital age, with its constant stream of information and opinions, can be overwhelming. By approaching it with humility, we are better equipped to discern valuable insights from mere noise, enhancing our understanding and perspective. The virtue of conscientiousness, which involves being diligent and careful in one's moral life, is particularly relevant in today's digital landscape. With the ease of access to information and the anonymity afforded by the internet, it's easy to act impulsively or disregard the consequences of our actions. By practicing conscientiousness, we ensure that our online behaviors align with our ethical standards, contributing to a more respectful and positive digital environment. Confucianism's emphasis on the practical application of virtue ethics in day-to-day living offers a roadmap for building a virtuous life in the digital age. It encourages us to embody virtues such as kindness, honesty, and respect in all our interactions, both online and offline. By integrating these virtues into our daily lives, we can foster a more compassionate and understanding world, one click at a time. In conclusion, the ancient wisdom of Confucianism provides valuable insights for navigating the digital age with grace and virtue. By embracing Li, recognizing the diversity of love, tapping into our moral intuition, practicing moral humility, being conscientious, and applying virtue ethics in our daily lives, we can build a foundation for a virtuous and fulfilling existence in this ever-connected world. As we journey through the digital landscape, let us remember that at the core of technology are human hearts seeking connection, understanding, and meaning. In the heart of a bustling city, where the neon lights flicker like modern-day fireflies and the cacophony of urban life never seems to fade, there lived a woman named Ava. Ava was a thinker, a modern-day philosopher of sorts, who found herself grappling with the complexities of contemporary life. It was during a particularly challenging day, filled with the mundane yet overwhelming tasks of the digital age, that Ava stumbled upon an ancient text by Confucius. This was not by mere happenstance, but rather a serendipitous guide that seemed to leap from the past, offering wisdom for today's trials. As Ava delved into the teachings of Confucius, she discovered the concept of Li, not just as a set of rituals, but as a life-generating activity rooted in love and respect. It dawned on her how this principle could transform the impersonal interactions of our digital world into meaningful connections. She pondered on the power of Li in reshaping online dialogues, where empathy and respect could flourish over indifference and animosity. In her journey through the ancient text, Ava encountered the idea of the diversity of love. She reflected on how this concept could address the polarization plaguing society. By understanding and appreciating the different forms and expressions of love, she envisioned a world where empathy bridged the divides, allowing for a deeper connection among disparate communities. Confucius' emphasis on moral intuition resonated deeply with Ava. In a world bombarded with information and competing moral frameworks, the simplicity of listening to one's moral compass seemed revolutionary. She realized that in moments of ethical dilemma, perhaps the answer lay within, guided by the innate understanding of right and wrong. Ava was particularly struck by the virtue of moral humility. In an age of social media, where self-promotion often eclipses self-reflection, the idea of modesty and self-awareness appeared as a beacon of hope. She envisioned a community where individuals, guided by humility, acknowledged their flaws and worked towards becoming better versions of themselves. Conscientiousness, another virtue extolled by Confucius, seemed like the perfect antidote to the fast-paced, often careless nature of modern life. Ava saw in this principle a call to diligence and care in one's actions, a reminder of the impact one's choices have on the world and the people around them. The practical application of virtue ethics was perhaps the most compelling lesson for Ava. Confucius' teachings on living out virtues in everyday life inspired her to envision a society where ethical principles were not just theoretical ideals but lived experiences. She imagined a community where individuals actively practiced kindness, honesty, and integrity, making the world a better place one action at a time. Education, a cornerstone of Confucian thought, also caught Ava's attention. In a time where access to information is unprecedented, the value placed on learning for moral development and social harmony seemed particularly pertinent. Ava envisioned educational systems that not only imparted knowledge but also fostered moral and ethical growth, preparing individuals not just for the workforce but for a life of virtue. The distinction between intellectual and practical virtues made Ava reflect on the balance between thinking and doing. She realized the importance of not only understanding ethical principles but also applying them in real-life scenarios, embodying the virtues that Confucius championed. The exploration of generalism and particularism in morality provided Ava with a framework for navigating ethical dilemmas. She appreciated the nuanced approach to morality, recognizing that ethical decisions often require a balance between overarching principles and the specifics of a situation. Finally, the merging of ethics and ontology in Confucian philosophy offered Ava a holistic view of being and virtue. She understood that cultivating virtue was not just about adhering to ethical norms, but about becoming a fully realized individual, in harmony with the world and oneself. As Ava closed the ancient text, she felt a profound sense of clarity and purpose. She realized that the teachings of Confucius, though millennia old, held profound relevance for the challenges of the modern world. Inspired, she set out to apply these lessons in her life, hoping to inspire others to do the same. Through her journey, Ava discovered that the wisdom of the past could indeed solve the problems of today, offering a guiding light in the darkness, illuminating the path toward a more compassionate, ethical, and harmonious world. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, amidst the cacophony of daily life, there lay hidden pockets of wisdom waiting to be discovered. One such treasure trove was the ancient philosophy of Confucianism, a guide not just for individual morality but also for societal harmony. In today's world, where ethical dilemmas abound, the teachings of Confucius offer a compass for navigating the complex maze of modern morality. The story begins with Alex, a young entrepreneur facing a moral quandary. His company had developed a revolutionary technology that promised to change the landscape of the industry. However, the rapid deployment of this technology risked rendering countless jobs obsolete. Torn between innovation and the welfare of the community, Alex delved into the teachings of Confucianism, seeking guidance. Through his journey, Alex discovered the importance of the Confucian virtue of Li, which emphasized not just ritualistic adherence to tradition, but also the life-generating activity that fosters community and harmony. He realized that innovation did not have to come at the expense of societal well-being. By integrating Li into his decision-making, Alex found a way to advance his technology while also instituting a program to retrain employees displaced by automation. This narrative also explored the Confucian concept of diversity in love, recognizing the different forms and expressions of love that bind a community together. Alex learned to appreciate the multitude of relationships within his company, from the camaraderie among team members to the mentorship provided by more experienced colleagues. This realization fostered a deeper sense of responsibility and care for the well-being of his employees. Confucianism's emphasis on moral intuition and humility provided Alex with a framework for navigating his ethical dilemma. He understood that real moral decisions could not always be codified into strict laws or guidelines. Instead, they required a conscientious and intuitive understanding of the unique circumstances of each situation. By practicing moral humility, Alex acknowledged his limitations and sought advice from a diverse group of stakeholders before making his decision. The story of Alex is a testament to the enduring relevance of Confucian philosophy in addressing the ethical challenges of the modern world. Through his journey, readers are introduced to the practical application of virtue ethics, the educational aspects of moral development, and the balance between intellectual and practical virtues. In weaving idioms and real-life examples into the narrative, the tale becomes a rich tapestry that illustrates the complexity of ethical decision-making in a relatable and engaging manner. Phrases like walking a mile in another's shoes and the middle path enrich the story with cultural wisdom and pragmatic advice. As the tale comes to a close, readers are left with a profound understanding of how ancient philosophies like Confucianism can illuminate the path forward in today's ethically complex world. The story of Alex serves as a compelling example of how individuals and communities can navigate moral dilemmas with compassion, wisdom, and a deep sense of responsibility towards one another. The Confucian compass, navigating today's ethical dilemmas, is not just a story. It is a call to action, inviting us to reflect on our values and the impact of our decisions on the world around us. In a time when the moral compass of society often seems out of balance, the teachings of Confucius remind us that the path to harmony begins with understanding, respect, and a commitment to the common good. In a world that often feels disjointed and chaotic, the ancient wisdom of Confucianism offers a beacon of light, guiding us through the complexities of modern-day challenges. This story, woven with the threads of Confucian philosophy, explores how these age-old teachings can still shape our lives, enrich our communities, and mend the fragmented pieces of our world. Once upon a time, in a bustling city filled with the noise of endless activity, lived a young person named Alex. Alex, much like anyone else in the city, was caught in the whirlwind of daily life, chasing deadlines and dreams with equal fervor. However, amidst this relentless pursuit, Alex felt a void, an unshakable sense of disconnection from self, others, and the natural world. Remembering the teachings of Confucius, Alex embarked on a journey to apply these ancient philosophies to contemporary life. The first lesson they revisited was the diversity of love. Confucius taught that love should not be monolithic but varied and rich in its expression. Alex began to practice this by showing compassion in ways they had never done before, listening more intently, offering help without being asked, and appreciating the simple presence of those around them. The concept of moral intuition resonated deeply with Alex. They realized that morality wasn't always about grand gestures but often about the small, intuitive decisions made daily. Alex found themselves pausing, reflecting on the moral weight of their choices, and striving to act with integrity, even in seemingly insignificant moments. Leah's life-generating activity revealed to Alex that rituals and routines, far from being mundane, held the potential to infuse life with meaning and joy. They started to cultivate rituals that connected them to their values, from morning meditations that grounded them in gratitude to evening walks that reminded them of the beauty of the world. Moral humility was perhaps the most challenging lesson. In a culture that often equates worth with success, choosing modesty and self-awareness required courage. Alex learned to celebrate their achievements without arrogance and embrace their failures as opportunities for growth. Conscientiousness became the cornerstone of Alex's interactions. They approached their responsibilities with a renewed sense of diligence, not just in their work but in every aspect of life, recognizing the profound impact of their actions on others and the environment. Through the practical application of virtue ethics, Alex discovered the joy of living a virtuous life in the everyday. They sought not just to understand virtues intellectually but to embody them, making kindness, honesty, and patience habitual responses to the world's challenges. Education, as Confucius held, was essential not just for individual development but for societal harmony. Alex became a lifelong learner, not only in their field but in understanding the human condition, fostering a community of learning and growth around them. The distinction between intellectual versus practical virtues taught Alex that knowledge and action are two sides of the same coin. They committed themselves to not only contemplate ethical principles but to live them out, turning wisdom into tangible acts of goodness. Generalism and particularism in morality helped Alex navigate the complexities of ethical decision-making. They learned to appreciate the universal principles of morality while also considering the unique circumstances of each situation, striking a balance between the general and the particular. Finally, by contemplating ethics and ontology, Alex understood that their being and moral actions were deeply interconnected. They recognized that to cultivate virtue was to nurture their very essence, aligning their actions with the deepest truths of their existence. From the bustling streets of the modern city to the quiet moments of reflection, Alex's journey of applying Confucian wisdom transformed not only their life but also the lives of those around them. In a world yearning for connection, integrity, and purpose, the ancient teachings of Confucius offered a path forward, proving that even in our fast-paced, technology-driven society, the lessons of the past hold the keys to our future. As we close this tale, let us remember that wisdom is timeless, and the teachings of Confucius, when applied with sincerity and heart, can illuminate the darkest of times. In the end, it's not just about navigating the challenges of the modern world but about transforming it, one virtuous act at a time. In today's fast-paced world, where relationships often seem to be governed more by convenience than connection, the ancient wisdom of Confucius offers a refreshing perspective. This philosopher, whose teachings still echo through the corridors of time, provided insights into the nature of relationships that seem almost prophetic in their applicability to our modern lives. By intertwining Confucian philosophy with contemporary examples, this tale seeks to bridge centuries, illustrating how ancient wisdom can illuminate modern connections. At the heart of Confucian thought is the concept of diversity of love. Confucius recognized that love is not a monolith but a multifaceted gem, each face reflecting a different aspect of human connection. This idea contrasts sharply with today's often one-dimensional portrayal of love, reminding us that true connections are rich in variety and depth. For instance, the respectful love between a student and a teacher, or the nurturing love of a parent, are as valuable as the passionate love between partners. Each form serves to enrich our lives and contribute to our moral development. Moral intuition, according to Confucius, plays a pivotal role in navigating these relationships. Unlike the cold, calculating logic that often dominates decision-making today, Confucianism places a premium on the intuitive understanding of what is right and good in our interactions. This moral intuition guides us in treating others with kindness and respect, principles that are sorely needed in the impersonal interactions that typify the digital age. The concept of Li as life-generating activity further expands on this, portraying ethical behavior not as a duty but as a source of life and vitality. In a world where relationships can become stale and routine, viewing our interactions through the lens of Li encourages us to infuse them with meaning and purpose, turning mundane exchanges into opportunities for growth and enrichment. Confucianism also emphasizes moral humility. In an era of social media, where everyone is keen to broadcast their virtues, Confucius teaches us the value of modesty. Recognizing our own flaws can lead to more compassionate and forgiving relationships, as we understand that everyone is on their own path to moral development. Conscientiousness is another virtue highly regarded by Confucius. In our dealings with others, being diligent and careful ensures that we honor our relationships and treat them with the gravity they deserve. This contrasts with the often cavalier attitude prevalent in modern hookup culture, where connections are treated as disposable. The practical application of virtue ethics is perhaps one of the most relevant aspects of Confucian philosophy for today's relationships. Confucius argued that it's not enough to know what is right. One must live it. In a world full of armchair philosophers, actualizing these virtues in our daily lives challenges us to be better partners, friends, and citizens. Confucianism doesn't neglect the educational aspects of relationships. Every interaction is an opportunity to learn and grow, a viewpoint that, if adopted, could transform our most challenging relationships into our most valued lessons. The distinction between intellectual versus practical virtues underscores the importance of both understanding the principles of good relationships and putting them into practice. Knowledge of what makes a relationship healthy is futile without the actions that bring it to life. Finally, the generalism and particularism in morality within Confucian thought teaches us that while there are general principles that can guide our relationships, each connection is unique and must be navigated according to its specific context. This balance between the universal and the particular offers a nuanced approach to modern relationships, where each is as varied as the individuals within them. By integrating these ancient principles with examples from contemporary life, it becomes evident that Confucius's teachings on relationships are not relics of a bygone era, but rather timeless wisdom that can guide us even today. In a world where connections can often be superficial, Confucius reminds us of the depth, diversity, and potential for growth that true relationships offer. Perhaps, by looking back, we can find a way forward, fostering connections that are not only deeper and more meaningful but also more fulfilling. In the bustling heart of the modern business district, where the relentless pursuit of success often blurs the lines of morality, ancient wisdom quietly makes its way into the boardroom, offering a beacon of ethical guidance. Drawing upon the profound teachings of Confucian philosophy, a narrative unfolds, revealing how timeless strategies can illuminate the path to ethical business practices in today's corporate world. The tale begins with a young entrepreneur, Alex, who, amidst the whirlwind of launching a startup, encounters the challenge of balancing ambition with integrity. As Alex navigates the complexities of business ethics, the principles of Confucianism emerge as a guiding light, illuminating the art of moral decision-making in the corporate arena. Diversity of love. In the realm of business, love might seem out of place. Yet, Alex learns that the Confucian understanding of love extends beyond personal relationships to encompass a genuine concern for stakeholders' welfare. This broadens Alex's perspective, encouraging a business model that prioritizes the well-being of employees, customers, and the community alike. Moral intuition. Confucianism teaches the importance of intuition in discerning right from wrong. For Alex, this means listening to the inner voice when making decisions, ensuring that actions align with core ethical values, even when faced with pressure to compromise. Li as life-generating activity. Li, the principle of proper conduct, becomes a cornerstone of Alex's business operations. Recognizing that every policy and practice can either foster or hinder life-generating activities, Alex commits to creating an environment where ethical behavior thrives, viewing it as essential to the company's success. Moral humility. The journey teaches Alex the value of humility in leadership. By embracing Confucian moral humility, Alex remains open to feedback and committed to continuous improvement, fostering a culture of trust and respect within the organization. Conscientiousness. Diligence and carefulness in moral living are virtues Alex integrates into the company's ethos. This conscientious approach to business ensures that every decision, no matter how small, is made with consideration of its ethical implications. Practical application of virtue ethics. Confucianism's emphasis on living out virtues in daily life inspires Alex to move beyond theoretical ethics, implementing practical measures that encourage ethical behavior throughout the company. Educational aspects. Recognizing the role of education in moral development, Alex invests in training programs that not only enhance professional skills but also cultivate ethical awareness, ensuring that employees can navigate ethical dilemmas with wisdom and integrity. Intellectual versus practical virtues. The distinction between knowing what is right and doing what is right becomes a focal point of Alex's leadership. By fostering an environment that encourages both intellectual engagement with ethics and practical application, Alex bridges the gap between theory and practice. Generalism and particularism in morality. Alex learns to balance universal principles with the nuances of specific situations, understanding that ethical decision-making often requires navigating the tension between general rules and the unique circumstances of each case. Ethics and ontology. Finally, the Confucian merger of ethics and ontology teaches Alex that the essence of a successful business lies not just in profit margins, but in cultivating virtue and contributing to the greater good. As the narrative comes to a close, Alex's startup flourishes, not only in financial terms but as a model of ethical business practices. Through the integration of Confucian philosophy, Alex demonstrates that success and integrity can coexist, providing a blueprint for ethical entrepreneurship that resonates across the corporate landscape. In this modern parable, ancient wisdom breathes life into contemporary business ethics, reminding us that the principles of Confucianism, with their emphasis on moral intuition, practical virtue, and the transformative power of education and humility, hold timeless relevance. As the story of Confucius in the boardroom unfolds, it becomes clear that the path to true success in business, as in life, is paved with integrity, compassion, and ethical wisdom. In a world that spins faster with each passing day, where technology often outpaces our ability to contemplate its impact, there lies an unchanging beacon from the past, illuminating the way forward. This beacon, rooted deeply in the rich soil of ancient Chinese philosophy, is the teachings of Confucius. His wisdom, seemingly hailing from a distant era, resonates with surprising relevance in our contemporary lives, bridging millennia with the timeless virtues of love, moral intuition, and the practical application of ethics. At the heart of Confucianism is the diversity of love. Confucius taught that love should not be a monolith but a multifaceted expression tailored to the relationship it nurtures, be it filial piety, friendship, or romantic love. This concept challenges us to reconsider our one-size-fits-all approach to love in the modern digital age, advocating instead for a more nuanced understanding that honors the depth and complexity of human connections. Moral intuition, another cornerstone of Confucian thought, underscores the importance of an innate sense of right and wrong. In an era where moral relativism often prevails, the emphasis on intuitive morality calls us back to a universal standard of ethics that transcends cultural and temporal boundaries. It invites us to trust our inner moral compass, guiding us through the ethical quagmires of contemporary life with a steadiness that only ancient wisdom can provide. Li, as a life-generating activity, further expands on this by proposing that rituals and traditions are not mere formalities, but vital acts that cultivate love and goodness. In today's fast-paced world, where rituals are often dismissed as outdated or unnecessary, this perspective offers a refreshing reminder of their value in nurturing social bonds and personal virtue. The principles of moral humility and conscientiousness in Confucianism advocate for a reflective approach to ethics, emphasizing modesty and meticulousness in our moral endeavors. This approach is a powerful antidote to the often ego-driven, success-at-all-costs mentality that pervades our culture, encouraging instead a life of quiet reflection and diligent virtue. Confucius's vision of practical virtue ethics, where the focus is on living out virtues in everyday life, resonates with profound significance in our times. Amid the complexities of modern existence, his teachings offer a blueprint for harmonious living, grounded in the cultivation of character and the pursuit of social harmony through education and the balanced development of intellectual and practical virtues. Yet, the application of Confucian wisdom is not without its challenges. The tension between generalism and particularism in morality reflects the ongoing struggle to balance universal ethical principles with the unique demands of individual contexts. Moreover, the integration of ethics and ontology in Confucian philosophy invites us to reflect on the very nature of being and the role of virtue in shaping our existence. In weaving these ancient threads into the fabric of contemporary life, we find a rich tapestry that speaks to the enduring human quest for meaning, connection, and moral integrity. Confucius's teachings, with their emphasis on love, moral intuition, and the practical application of ethics, offer not only a bridge across millennia but also a compass for navigating the complexities of the modern world. By skillfully deploying idioms like a beacon from the past and integrating real-life examples of how these principles can be applied today, we enrich our narrative, making it both engaging and enlightening. In doing so, we demonstrate how the ancient wisdom of Confucius continues to illuminate our path, guiding us toward a life of virtue, harmony, and profound human connection in the contemporary world.